this episode of Beyond This, the podcast where we talk life, growth and spirituality without the fluff. I'm Matilda, and here we'll dive into real conversations, deep reflections, and the insights that help us live more connected, magnetic lives. This week, I'm talking about a controversial subject. I'm talking timelines. I'm talking your own personal timeline, not timeline jumps. But we'll cover that too. What a week it has been. September is going to get a little bit easier. I'm going to talk about my predictions at the end of the episode, as I always do. But it has been a busy month. What are we on? The 9th? It feels busy. I was away this weekend. I took 48 hours off to spend time with my family. Went to celebrate my best friend's 60th birthday. My best friend happens to be my ex-husband. No judgment. We took the kids away to Melbourne with their partners and we had an amazing time. Wouldn't choose to go to the Munich Brauhaus. You are a vegetarian. Just a word of warning. I went there because it was his choice, his birthday. It was between the hotel and we had a concert to go to. And I think I had 2 mouthfuls of a mushroom ragu, which is the worst ragu I have ever tasted in my entire life. So steer clear of there if it is, if you are a vegetarian. But I'm sure everyone else enjoyed it. It was purely on me. And as I said, when it's my birthday, I'm going to take you all to a raw food vegan restaurant and you will enjoy yourself. We're going to talk about something today that is driving me insane. Honestly, just please, if one more person states that they have jumped timelines, that a prediction that they have made has not happened because it's happening on another timeline, fuck off. Just stop. Just admit you're wrong. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong, when predictions don't come in. To be perfectly honest, some of the predictions that I am given, they don't happen. I am joyful about them. There's only one I've ever stuck my guns about, and you know which one. You know. But I'm sick of hearing about timelines, okay? Have you ever caught yourself wondering, what if I'd taken that job? What if I'd stayed in that relationship? What if I'd said yes instead of no? We often think about life as a straight line, one path, one direction. But spiritually speaking, timelines are much more fluid. And I'm not talking about jumping timelines. I'm not talking about something else happening on a different timeline. But I want to explore how you can recognize that and you can align your actions with the timeline that is best suited to you. If you think about your life as a tree with many branches, you are able to skip between the branches depending on the decisions that you make. Let me explain when I say timelines. In the everyday sense, we think that time is linear, past, present, and future. But metaphysically, timelines can be a little bit different. They're like multiple roads running side by side, and each represents a version of reality that exists because of choices, energy, and intention. You're not on one fixed track. You actually have the ability to move from one path to another. Free will is one of the greatest spiritual tools. And it's what allows us to choose which version of life we want for ourselves. So how do you know if you switched or on the right timeline? Sometimes it's subtle. You might feel a sense of deja vu, that odd sense of familiarity, like you've lived this before, but you can't quite place it. Or you might notice little inconsistency, things in your environment that feel just slightly different than you remember. You will always have the choice of which direction you want to go in. There is a personal timeline, but there's not an alternate you living on a different timeline. This is the myth that I need to squash when it comes to online psychics using a get out of jail clause. Here's the empowering part. You don't have to passively wait for timelines to shift. You can actually choose. You can set an intention to step into a version of life that feels more aligned. More alignment with your actions helps you do this. Visualization is one of the most powerful ways to move your timeline. When you hold the vision of the life that you want and pair it with action in the present, you start to vibrate in harmony with that timeline. It's like tuning a radio. When your frequency matches, you naturally align with the version of reality. I've seen this happen with clients. I've seen it happen with myself. One decision, one moment of clarity, and suddenly the path in front of you changes. It feels like you've leapt into a whole new track. Being a psychic medium, one of the most powerful things that I like to do is teach people that aligning their actions with what they want, what they're hoping for, can change your life. Now, let's be clear and let's clear up a few misconceptions. Timelines aren't about escaping responsibility or waiting for the universe to magically do it all for you. Your choices matter. Your actions matter. This isn't about forcing reality to bend to your will either. It's about aligning with what feels right for your soul. When you try to control too tightly or manipulate outcomes, you can actually block the very shifts you are seeking. Timelines are less about forcing and more about flowing, tuning yourself to the right current. So what can you do? If you feel like you're shifting or want to shift, if you've been stuck in a state of inertia, so many decisions, so many things you want to change, and you just don't know where to start, the first thing you must do is ground yourself. Timeline shifts can feel disorientating, like the universe giving you that feeling of change, that need for change, by making things that you are not aligning with go away. It's the same feeling. It can be disorientating. So practices such as deep breathing, connecting with nature, or even just sitting quietly with your feet on the floor can really help. Journaling, asking yourself the questions: what timeline am I living now? What timeline do I desire? What choices could bring me closer to what I want? The answers might surprise you. And third of all, use meditation for your benefit. Spending time each day connecting with a vision of the life you want can really help. Let go of the external details, but the feeling of it. When you embody that feeling, you're already stepping into the timeline of your dreams. So here's what I want to leave you with. no matter what timeline you're on right now, you're not missing out. Every path teaches us something. Every version of reality carries growth. But you also have the power to choose. You can align with timelines that feel expansive, supportive, and full of possibility. If you could step into a new timeline today, what would it feel like? What choices would you make differently? Sit with that, journal on it, and trust that your soul knows the way. You've got this. But empowering yourself is one of the most important tools that you must explore. Before I move on to this week's predictions and what I see coming in, I want to talk about the energy as a collective. It's really disturbing right now. And I'm not just talking about the US. I am talking about globally. There's this real myth that we can all wish for one thing collectively and it'll happen. That's not going to happen. But what we can do is learn to work as a community. Now, if I hear one more comment from somebody that says, I'm a blue dot in a red sea. Now, I'm referring to the United States at the moment. It's not necessarily true, because if you put it out there, you will find those other blue people. But the reality is that we need to see more purple, more collective energy, a more common goal, more common working towards in order to succeed. And it is such a them and us mentality globally that the politicians, that the right-wing propaganda, that the gaslighting is winning right now. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on, the propaganda and the gaslighting is winning. Because you're also gaslighting yourselves to believe that somebody that votes for a certain party or is registered for a certain party couldn't possibly have a common goal as you. And that may be true for a percentage, but it's not true as a whole. I get to speak to people from all walks of life, and I am telling you now that there are people that in the past were of a certain party and are absolutely horrified and disgusted at what is going on. Community is key globally. We are seeing the divide get bigger and bigger. And my warning to you, especially those in the United States, that you will see states fall away from the united part of things by the end of 2026 if things don't change. And that is a scary, scary thought. We are watching the United Kingdom fall apart piece by piece, and everyone is blaming Keir Starmer. Now, I'm not a supporter of Keir Starmer's, but I have spoken at length about the changes the United Kingdom need to make in mentality, in thought pattern, in entitlement for things to change. I know I'm not going to make any friends today, but I can only pass on what I am being shown by Spirit. And the future does not look good globally, not least of all that global warming, if you think this summer and winter has been harsh, it's got nothing on the next 2 years. And the only way to combat that is to start working as a community. We are the first, it is the only time that the human race can actually decide whether we become extinct or not. That's how bad things are. And political party, political alignment will go out the window when it comes to survival. The war is with climate, not with the person that has a different belief system to you. Now, obviously, anyone that supports or agrees with somebody that harms children are not somebody that we want to align ourselves with. But there are others out there that may have thought one way 6 months ago and think another way now. And we have to be open to understanding that. But globally, it is not country by country. It is the reality is that we are all at risk. And if something isn't done, if the people don't have a stand, then that choice is going to be taken away from everybody. As per my predictions last week, the sea level is rising, and it is rising really soon. There is about to be something significant happen in Antarctica over the next month or two, which will be gasp-worthy. And if you are educated in what climate change means and the impacts of it, then you will notice it. Okay. That's Matilda's sermon over and done with. But please, community. Community is the way forward. Togetherness, collective energy. Because we can all think positively and wish for one thing, but when we're fighting against each other, it has no impact. All right. Let's look at the predictions that I have seen coming in for the coming months. Now, last week, you'll remember I made a prediction regarding the flotilla, and sadly that happened. I think there may be another altercation with the flotilla coming in. We're on September the 9th here in Australia. I think the 11th or 12th will be significant. I draw your attention to New Zealand, particularly the South Island or the waters around the South Island. I feel a significant earthquake coming by end of October, end of November. Also, politics in New Zealand may be surprising. There may be a stepping down, a reshuffle, something within the political system in New Zealand. Again, we're on September the 8th. I feel like the end of November is going to be significant. A further death connected to the royal family of Great Britain. I know we saw the Princess Michael of Kent, who was actually my mother's favourite royal. She was 90-something. I do feel like there is another death connected to the royal family. But strangely enough, I feel like there's an announcement about a baby coming. Now, do not believe that it is Catherine, Princess of Wales, but I do feel like there is a baby connected to the royal family, an announcement coming. Here in Australia, we are going to see riots start up again around immigration. I'm not even going to talk about that. It pisses me off. I am mad at those that seem to believe the right-wing propaganda. It just, yeah. By the way, I'm an immigrant, if I haven't made that known. In the United States, announcement coming out of the White House regarding somebody losing their job, being let go, being booted out through. They did something. I think they're a bit of a whipping boy. That's about to come out. Elon Musk is going to raise his head in the next couple of weeks with more gossip, more news, more drama. Someone's going after him for money. It's not like he doesn't have it, so I don't know what that's about, but somebody is going after him with money, and it's got legal attachments to it. I have my eyes on Eastern Europe and a push and shove connected to borders in the Balkans. That's quite important. An uptick in the Middle East. Someone's going to bomb Iran again. Someone is going to bomb Iran again. And an uptick in things going on in Russia. I think there's some news to come out of Russia that's going to quite shock people. You know my thoughts on Putin. If you've listened long enough, my tinfoil hat and all. But that's about it from me this week. Stay grounded. Stay calm. Know that the power is yours. But you have to take it and you have to be comfortable with it. Thank you for spending this time with me on Beyond This. If you found today's episode thought-provoking, I'd love to hear from you. Share your reflections, tag me on socials, or connect with me on Patreon, where we explore these ideas even deeper. Until next time. But remember, the path is never fixed. The timelines are open. Your timelines are open. And you always have the power to choose. Take care. I forgot something. I always do that. First of all, if you don't know, Laurie Rivers and I are hosting a 2026 event on October the 11th. We will be exploring charts and channeling to give you the deep dive into what to expect, how to prepare, what's up on deck for 2026. You can book your ticket through the link in the show notes. Remember, Patreons of $15 and above get 50% off the event. And even if you cannot attend at the time that we are hosting it, if you book and pay prior to the event, you will be sent the recording within a few days. If you wait until after the event, you will be paying full price to purchase it from Patreon. It is a must-attend event because the details we get are phenomenal. Also want to highlight that on the 21st of September, I am hosting a large evidential mediumship event that it's like sitting in an audience at a theatre where you get to watch me work and perform spirit-led readings. $50 Australian dollars, which is about $22-23 US dollars to attend. And there is an opportunity for a reading. Obviously, not everyone gets a reading because it's spirit-led, but you get to take part in the healing, in the connection, and see how I work for yourself. Sorry about that. Enjoy your day. Take care. Lots of love.